there's a lot more similarities between Caribbeans and Africans and African Americans and Africans than people realize. And I can say that because I live here.
Africans, we have always been one. I think from way back, that's why I support anything that tries to unite us as Africans. Yeah. Be it a currency, be it a what, so long as it's something bringing us together.
Hello everyone, welcome to Kenganda. My name is Johnny Tamaya and this is the Repart podcast. As you can see, we are missing the boss man himself, but he will be back some other time. And we have... Maintain, please. Look at me giving you a whole...
DJ Maintain. Kampala is my home for the past 5 years now of Caribbean descent. What's up, people?
Yeah.
Welcome to Uganda. Welcome to Kampala.
Right.
You're officially welcome and you have to check in through me.
Of course.
Because I run Kampala.
Of course.
Please.
Yeah, this is my town.
Listen, there's no checking in without.
What do you run?
Yeah,
The border
when
guys?
you come
Anyway.
to Kampala, you need to first check in through me. Yeah, man. Otherwise, Outer Brian here as usual. Good to be here. Let's go.
So guys, watch this video with us and react to it with us.
You cannot tell the average Jamaican right now that they are African, even though 90% of the population is predominantly of African descent. You can tell the Indian that they are Indian and they have a clear sense of what Indianness looks like and feels like. But you ask about the Africans and then people look sideways at you and wonder if you're going mad and have a retort ready for you to say, no, but you're Jamaican. But if you came from Africa as corn and are planted in Jamaica or Trinidad or Tobago, you don't become peas, you're still corn. So it is, again, a disconnect between our past selves and our sense of history and the loss of that sense to the reconstruction of ourselves in other people's image.
Okay, guys, you've heard it. This is from African Stream on YouTube. And so I had to bring in Maintain because Maintain is a Maintain, tell them your ethnicity. Is it ethnicity?
Yeah.
So people can understand before we get into this.
Yeah, sure. So my parents are born in the Caribbean. Jobs were on offer and citizenship were on offer in London. So they came to London to work, met each other, got married, had kids. I'm one of 4. And that's my story. Yeah.
So Maintain is not Jamaican.
No, I'm not Jamaican.
Because when someone hears you and hears your accent, they think, oh, he's Jamaican.
Yeah. I either get Jamaican or Nigerian.
Nigerian? You?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I see it.
Every time the police stop me, they think I'm Nigerian.
I think because of the beard.
It's the beard.
Yeah.
It's the
When
beard.
you see a man with such beards here in Kampala, it's just
Yeah, he's a Lagos.
Because
Lagos boy.
Ugandans, their beards don't
They don't
They
connect.
just be scattered.
It's
I
the
don't
heat.
understand.
There's no need for a beard in the heat.
Not you
So
pushing your country
your
people
follicles
under the
don't
I
grow.
need
glass.
to have my beard like that, but it just happens to be scattered and all that.
Maintain has a whole beard routine.
Yeah, I got a serious routine, bro. I'll take
Oh,
it
really?
serious.
They
Yeah.
take the beard care
we'll
so
talk
serious.
after. I'll give you the
Okay.
I'll give you the tips.
But yeah, so I just wanted to say,
Yeah.
do you think Caribbeans in general are considered Africans?
Right. So this is how do I unpack this? This goes
Unpack
deep.
it.
This goes deep. Right. So I'm gonna speak from my personal experience. And my personal experience is kind of I want to say it's like cut and dry for everybody, but everybody has a similar experience. So Caribbeans, we know our heritage. We know the motherland is Africa and our DNA is African. What has happened is that we all know the history, how we got to the Caribbean, how we got to UK and these other places. So when we're in these places we are now living, there's not much to done There's not much done that's promoting Africa in a positive light.
Yeah.
So as a kid, when I saw images of Africa, it was the same old, same old. Yeah, growing up as a kid, it was the same old negative imagery, right? Starving children, no civilization, mud huts, no one can live good on the continent, etc., etc. So that creates, as a child, that you want to be proud of your heritage, you want to be proud of where you're from, and that, as a child, you don't know better. You think these media outlets and these places and your school is doing the right thing by you by when they speak about Africa, but really it's not. So it's created like a sort of shame to be associated with Africa. So that's why you have a lot of rhetoric, like she was speaking about in the video, where Caribbeans don't acknowledge it. But really, it's just a thing where they haven't grown up with positive images of Africa and don't feel like they belong to the motherland because their whole existence and their whole experience has been in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
But there hasn't been something to link the two. As a kid, when they would speak about, we're going to do Black history, right? And all throughout my school, whenever they taught Black history, it was slavery.
I get it.
Right? So they wouldn't teach anything else. They wouldn't teach anything that happened before. They wouldn't teach anything positive that happened after. Every time I went to the classroom and they was say, when they taught Black history at school, it was always slavery. And I think they made a point of doing that to ruin like fellow Africans and Caribbeans' esteem. That's what I truly believe. Because slavery is not our history.
Yeah.
It's their history. Because they're the one who initiated this transatlantic slave trade and put us under these awful conditions that we had to endure for upteen amount of years. So I used to just, when I heard that we was going to be doing Black history, I'd always get into a fight. I'd always argue with the teacher because I just wanted to be kicked out of the lesson. Because I was sick of my people being portrayed in that way within a school curriculum. Because I know they could teach us other things that happened before for argument's sake, Mansa Musa or whatever. So it was their choice to do that. So it all stems from when you're young. You had this picture painted of Africa as a whole as not a nice place, very dangerous. You can't have a life here, etc. But we all know that as you get older, we all know that not to be true. Like my quality of life is way, way better now. I live in Uganda. So it's like I've always said on this podcast, right? It's about controlling narratives, us controlling the way we're portrayed to the outside world. So there is a big disconnect.
Yeah. I actually want to read some of the comments so that you can see what people are thinking.
We love the comments.
Some people Mr. Something was saying some people just prioritize different identities. I relate more with the people in my community than with the people with the same genes thousands of miles away. So it's basically saying he relates more with his people than, it's like stop trying to force Africa on them, But you can see so many comments, so many people are saying, it's all about identity. Jamaicans are hundreds of years separate from Africa. They have a unique culture and dialect. They may be descended from Africans ultimately, but they are a different people at this point. But the reason why I actually came up with this topic today was to just see there's so many. You saw the recent video of the guy on TikTok saying how Somalians are not Africans. Yeah. She actually reacted to it on this channel, so you guys can check that out. But so there's that guy. So you can see how, and that one is even on the continent, but he's trying to say,
but he's saying he's not.
When we don't look like Africans, so maybe we're not Africans. And then there's so many North African countries that don't call themselves Africans. You see like Morocco, Egypt, is it Tunisia, something? If I'm not sure. But you see such countries and people try to disassociate themselves from Africa. But I can relate to that Maintain is saying it's because what the media is showing the people, it's like, it's like you don't want to be associated with Africa because of what they're showing the people. But I feel like for North African countries, I feel like those are just racist.
Yeah.
Because as most Africans who go to such countries tell you know what, I was treated poorly when I went to such
I've heard that a lot as well.
an African country. But for people like the Caribbeans and Jamaicans, I kind of get it in a way, because these are people who have created their own identity. The people I'm not okay with are people saying, oh, we're totally not Africans. But I like the people who agree that, you know what, we are of African descent, but we are not that connected to the continent for us to associate, to call ourselves that, you know?
Yeah.
So that's more understandable. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah. Brian, what do you think?
And maybe for the solution to that, those people who claim that, those from different continents,
Yeah.
I think there should be, I don't know how it would be done, but some mass, sensitization. People need to know that at the end of it all, whether you try to run east or west, home is best.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
You're African at the end of the day. More so these people who are in the continent. How do you de-associate yourself from being African? Yet on the map, on the African map, you are there. I mean, that is quite crazy.
Yeah.
You get? Yeah, there should be some sort of sensitization, like you said, education. The history that is being taught about Africa, they need to also teach the good side about Africa. They need to let people know that it wasn't only the slavery part of it. There's a lot more. Africa is a very beautiful country.
Yeah.
There's a lot to embrace, beautiful cultures, beautiful everything, nature and all that. So, people need to have this sense of belonging, of being African. They should embrace it, shouldn't run away from it, and basically.
Yeah. It reminds me of, so you know how we do it in Uganda. It's just like, if your dad and mom are from a different tribe, if your dad is one tribe and your mom is another tribe, so that's like an intertribal marriage. So if your dad is, let's say, a Musoga, and then your mom is a Muganda, you know, you have to go with your dad's side, because that's how we do it in this country. You have to go with your dad's side. But you find that some people are not okay with their father's side. So they keep saying, hey, you know what? I do not associate with that side of my dad. So I'm going to take my mom's. But then when she grows up and culturally, they will still tell her, you know what? No, I know you love your mom the most and you connect with the mom the most. But at the end of the day, you are still your father's tribe. That's how it's seen here. So that's how I kind of look at it, you know. I understand Jamaicans have had their own identity. They have their own culture, but that doesn't take away the fact that they are descendants of Africans, you know.
Yeah.
But
that's true. It's true. And all, like, as much as I'm going to generalize here, and you may come for me in the comments, and I apologize, but all Caribbeans know their heritage.
Yeah.
They know it's on this continent, Africa. But what it is, there's been such a disconnect. And in the Caribbean, yes, we have we've created our heritage, and we've got our own history that we've built in the Caribbean. And that's cool. But there's a lot more similarities between Caribbeans and Africans and African Americans and Africans than people realize. And I can say that because I live here. Like the food, the way we like to enjoy life, even though, you know, times can be hard. We look for the positives.
Exactly.
And that's what I've really, really noticed from living here. There's a lot more similarities than there are differences. Like the similarities win. And that's what needs to be out there a lot more. And with podcasts like our one and different social media outlets and things like that, it's helping people see those similarities. Like people DM me every week.
Yeah.
You know, asking me about Uganda and Kenya and whatnot, because they see from what I'm doing on my story, there's a lot of similarities between Caribbean culture and African culture. But it just needs to be promoted. It needs to be shouted out from the rooftops, so to speak, so we can come together. Because like they say, you know, you're more stronger together than you are apart.
Exactly.
And you know, I will do my best on my little social media platform to promote that, because I know it to be true from my personal experience.
And And maybe speaking of unity, Africans, we have always been one. I think from way back, that's why me, I support anything that tries to unite us as Africans. Be it a currency, be it a what, so long as it's something bringing us together. Because even from way back, I think we didn't even have these borders. These guys who came to colonize us.
Exactly.
Put us what?
They put all these crazy borders.
They put these borders. But Africans, we were one.
Yeah.
So I think we need to just look at that picture. Because once we are one and appreciate ourselves and everything, we do it as one, it's quite easier, obviously, for people, even the rest of these other people who are living outside in other continents to embrace us.
Yeah.
So, and most of the attempts of trying to unite us as Africans, I've always gone, I don't know, whenever someone comes in, let's say an African leader tries to unite, there's always something that happens. I don't know why, I don't know. We had Gaddafi try to bring us together, something. I think he was introducing currency and things just go astray. I don't know. We need to look into that.
You do.
Africans need to come as one.
Yeah.
Whoever doesn't want us to unite is an EP.
Enemy of progress.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
True. And I also see this as a problem, right? So Uganda has gained their independence from the British, right, for years, right? But you still have Prince Charles Drive, Lake Victoria, Lake Albert, like
Windsor something.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like all these, like Murchison Falls, Queen Elizabeth National Park.
Can you imagine?
All these names need to be reverted back to the original names.
Preach.
And I think that's what the problem is, because it still gives like an era of superiority.
Exactly.
You know, like you're in Kampala, but I'm going up Prince Charles Drive.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they've got nothing to do with this country on that level anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In terms of colonialization and things like that. So, you know, like build up pride within ourselves. You know what I mean? Lake Victoria, change it. Was it Nalubale or what it was called before? I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. But yeah, you know, these things need to happen, and then you build from there, because the kids are growing up.
Looking at that.
And they're like, oh,
it's normal.
Yeah.
So we need to first feel African, us.
Yeah.
Within us,
That's what
before we
need to
even think of, okay.
Yeah.
That's clear.
You know, I actually don't blame some who don't want to be associated with Africa in general, because there was a forced disconnect because of the transatlantic slave trade.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. But there was like a forced disconnect. So it's just like you misplaced these people. You took them away from their roots and whatnot. So now what do they have to do? They just have to come up and form their own culture. So to a certain point, I actually don't.
You know, you can't blame the kids, because growing up as a kid in school, like all you wanted to do, you wanted to have friends.
Yeah.
Didn't want to be teased. You just wanted to, like, you know what I mean, get along with everyone. So as a kid, I didn't want to be teased. So the last thing I'm going to bring up is Africa, because the images I saw, the way I've seen it been spoken about, it just creates, you know, like ridicule, and you'd be teased by other kids about it. I know it's like, it sounds trivial to speak about teasing and stuff, but when you're a kid, that's your whole world. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like your parents are the one dealing with the real issues. Mortgage or rent, food on the table, keeping you out of trouble, and your siblings if you have some. So, but in our little world, you know what I mean, it's a big deal. So, you know what I mean? I can't blame kids that have seen these negative images from very young, disassociating themselves from Africa as you know, as they get older, because they haven't seen anything positive.
Exactly.
And that, I feel, needs to change.
Yeah. And then I feel like when you see a Jamaican, before they speak or say anything, you think they're black. You think they're African.
Exactly.
So it's just like when you go elsewhere and then the people look at you, they're just going to think, oh, he's African. It's not I'm Jamaican and not African.
Yeah.
No, they're going to look at you and be like, oh yeah, you're black. You're African. You're definitely from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight.
But guys, any last words? This has been a short one. Forgive us, but
it's okay. Short and sweet. Just we need to control how we're viewed, and I think it's happening slowly but surely, like in the West, with regards to resources And when I say West, I mean West Africa. Like Ghana's taking more control over the cocoa bean, not letting Belgium and Switzerland call themselves the self-proclaimed kings of chocolate, and they make like when all the cocoa beans come from the continent and different resources. Like we need to I don't know how they're going to do it because it's so deeply entrenched in corruption from France and Belgium, all these different places. But if we can get a control of our resources and change the way we do business with the rest of the world, and build confidence in the continent moving forward, which will then spread to the diaspora. We will start to see change. Definitely. That's my last word.
And speaking of change, it's really happening because at the end of the day, Africa of back in the day is not the Africa of these days. Right now, when someone says they're from Africa, yes, you will feel it. Because trust me, even if you're there hiding, claiming not to be African, you're not going to wait for the time when Africa is shining. Because I'm telling you, Africa is going to shine in the nearby future.
Preach.
And we have started, you can tell by everything. Let's talk of music. We are taking over. Sports, we are taking over.
Taken over.
Yeah, we are coming. We are coming.
We're
So
there
as
already.
you're there, busy denying, I'm not African. I feel like I'm not African. Please don't claim to be African in the nearby future when we have moved. Yes. So Africa is going to reclaim its spot. And education, our education system needs to change. We can't only learn about history in terms of slavery and all that. There's so much to learn about Africa. Let's spread more awareness. And it is. We expect the best.
Yeah, I like that. I think you guys have.
Africa one Africa.
Yes, Alta.
Yes.
It's like you're a politician.
I'm so
asking
proud
for
to
votes.
be African. I don't know.
Yeah, I see that.
All of a sudden I feel that
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's
Africans, I don't know. Africans, we are supernatural. As you're there
Please.
planning to hide, do you know what it means to be an African? I wish I could go into details because now there's a lot of chemistry and all that and the melanin but I'll stop there.
Okay, I hope everyone
My
had
brother.
Outer's message about Africans being supernatural.
There's power here. Yes,
Supernatural.
supernatural. There's a superpower in this melanin.
Okay, Mr. Melanin
Yes.
analyst.
But I won't go into details.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll just leave it at that.
All right. So therefore, they can find you, Melanin analyst.
Find me on all social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Outer Brand, OUTF Brand.
Okay.
Please check him out. It's hilarious. DJ Maintain on all social media platforms.
I almost called you Gabs. We're missing Gabs here.
Yeah.
You're
But he'll be
missing
back.
Gabs. You're missing
We
Gabs.
are missing
Yo.
Gabs.
So, the superstar Gabs. Viral sensation.
But yeah, guys, if you want to reach out to us, you can send us an email at teamkenganda@gmail.com, and also follow us on all our social media platforms at Kenganda Nation. Follow me at Janita Maya on Instagram and all social media platforms. Yeah. See you next time.